Welcome back to Highlight Anime Recap. The battle between the Supernovas and the two emperors took place on the dome of Kaido's castle, where you can see the whole island of Wano. This is an unequal battle, because the two emperors have much more superior strength than the Supernovas. However, the Supernovas did not waver or fear. They fought with all their strength and spirit to prove to the two emperors that they were not weak or easy to bully. Before the Supernovas joined the battle, the 9 red scabbards, the loyal retainers of Lord Odin, faced Kaido on the roof of Onigashima. But they were not strong enough to fight Kaido, and they were all defeated. Kinemon entrusted his hope to Luffy, hoping that he would free Wano from Kaido's control. And then, Kaido appeared and intended to eliminate everyone. Luffy asked Law to move them to a safe place. Kaido's attack shook a large area. Luffy started the fight with a powerful punch. Red Rock. Luffy was furious that his friends were hurt by Kaido. This punch has been enhanced by Conqueror's Haki, which could pierce through Kaido's armor and injure him. Big Mom and the Supernovas were shocked by Luffy's strength. Kaido could not believe that his steel-like body could be wounded by Luffy. He had no rivals for a long time, and he was known as the strongest creature. Now, Kaido has been bled by a rising pirate. Big Mom could not believe that Kaido had become so weak, and she tried to awaken his true power. Luffy became stronger thanks to a master who taught him during his imprisonment. Kaido recovered and stood up. And he saw the shadows of the characters who carried the will of the sea in Luffy. Kaido realized that Luffy was a worthy opponent, and they both activated Conqueror's Haki. Their spiritual energy made the battlefield tremble. Kaido started the fight, and his attack was so fast that Luffy had to use advanced observation Haki to avoid danger. Kaido's power was truly formidable. Big Mom also wanted to join the fight, and she rushed in and unleashed her ultimate technique, Heavenly Fire. Zoro timely supported Luffy and cut Big Mom's fire with his sword technique. But they were facing two emperors of the sea. Zoro warned Luffy to be careful with Kaido, but Kaido was too fast for Luffy to react. If it was not for Law's help, Luffy would have been seriously injured. Law reminded Luffy to be careful, fight on equal terms, and not act alone. Kid mocked their childishness, and then the captains argued in the tense battle. Big Mom took advantage of the enemy's chaos and attacked. She was excited to fight with strong opponents. But Kaido wanted to fight alone to test his strength against the Supernovas. Zoro and Killer were ready to fight Kaido, and they unleashed their strongest techniques. Then Zoro and Killer rush into battle with Kaido. Although they hit Kaido, he was not hurt at all. That was the power of an emperor. Then, the captains returned to the fight. Kaido was still very strong after receiving the attacks. Luffy activated Gear 4 and wrapped his body with a layer of powerful armament Haki. His combat attributes were enhanced. This state of Luffy leaned toward physical strength. Kid also activated his magnetic ability, and he controlled the metal objects. He merged them and turned them into a killing machine. Thanks to hiding in the special armor, Kid could protect himself from the enemy's attacks, and his strength and speed increased significantly. Law also showed his power to manipulate space, room, and transformed the objects into tools for fighting. Luffy started with Elephant Gun. Kaido seemed to not dodge the attacks from Luffy, even though each punch was very powerful. His endurance was truly extraordinary. After Luffy's attack, Kid rushed in and threw a punch with magnetic force. Kaido still received the attack without being injured. Law immediately used his spatial ability to pressure the opponent, creating a big explosion and destroying the battlefield. However, after a series of attacks from the Supernovas, Kaido still stood firm and showed no signs of fatigue. Remember that Big Mom had not used her power yet. Kaido became serious and used his true power. He transformed into a giant dragon. A huge source of power was released. The Supernovas were still very confident and not afraid. Kaido with his dragon state could destroy a whole country. He deployed his wide-range damage skill, Demolition Gust. A series of energy beams spread everywhere. The power from these energy beams can destroy everything. This is just a greeting from Kaido. But that could not stop the Supernovas. Zoro strengthened his sword, preparing for a powerful attack. Luffy rushed to Kaido and enhanced his fist with Haki. Kong Rifle. The attack made Kaido fly into the air. Then it was Kid. He grabbed Kaido and threw him to the ground. We can see the terrifying power from Kid's ability. But that is just a child's play for Kaido. Law used his spatial skill, swapped positions with Kid and faced Kaido. He immediately deployed his special technique, Gamma Knife, stabbing straight into Kaido's heart. This technique could make the opponent's heart stop beating instantly. But that did not happen to the strongest creature on Earth. Kaido fully recovered and counterattacked. Next, Killer approached Kaido and unleashed his powerful skill, Scyther Sonic. This skill destroyed the enemy's internal organs, making Kaido extremely painful. But Big Mom intervened and defeated Killer. Now, the Supernovas have to face two Emperors at the same time. Kaido did not miss the opportunity and killed Killer. At the same time, Luffy timely rescued and kicked Kaido in the face with great force, Rhino Schneider. However, Kaido was not affected. He deployed his strongest technique, Flash Breath. Its power could destroy a whole city. Luffy has to face the direct attack of Kaido. No one can survive when hit by Blash Breath. Right at that moment, thanks to the coordination between Law and Zoro, they successfully blocked Blash Breath. Then, Zoro transmitted his haki into his sword. Law moved Zoro to a favorable position to attack. Kaido felt the power from that slash. It reminded him of Odin, who had caused a fatal wound on Kaido. Zoro swiftly executed a powerful slash that struck directly at Kaido, slashing across Kaido's face and injuring him. The destructive power from Zoro's slash was truly terrifying. Big Mom summoned Zeus and unleashed a very powerful lightning bolt towards Zoro. She continued to create a series of thunderbolts, successively defeating the opponents, destroying all the surrounding areas. However, Luffy still stood firm after Big Mom's attack. He rushed straight to the position of the two emperors. Big Mom and Kaido were amazed by his extraordinary endurance. Luffy prepared to retaliate after the intensive attacks. But Kaido was faster. Blash Breath. The attack destroyed everything in its path. There is almost no chance of survival for the opponent when hit by a direct blow. Kaido is sure to win. But Luffy was hardly injured after that finishing blow. Kaido could not believe that someone could withstand Blash Breath head-on like that. Luffy rushed straight to Kaido, putting all his strength into his fist. Kong Gatling. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most epic fight in the history of One Piece, where 5 Supernovas challenge 2 Yonkos for the throne of the New World. In this fight, we have Monkey D. Luffy, Eustace Kid, Trafalgar Law, Roronoa Zoro, Killer, and their opponents are the beastly King of Wano, Kaido, and the Queen of Sweets, Big Mom. Let the fight begin. Back to the battle in the previous part. Luffy was overpowering Kaido with his continuous technique, Kong Gatling. Everyone was surprised by Luffy's strength. An Emperor of the Sea was being attacked by Luffy. Kaido was completely helpless and almost had no chance to fight back. Luffy punched Kaido with a very strong right hand, making him lose his balance and fall to the ground. Luffy's strength was really beyond imagination. He could fight continuously with Kaido, who was known as the strongest creature and ruled a region of the sea. The Supernovas could not believe that Kaido was defeated. Luffy had consumed a lot of physical strength for the battle. He had to finish his opponent quickly. But Luffy's body had reached its limit. Because of maintaining the use of haki for too long, Luffy fell into a coma and fell to the ground. This is the price to pay for using haki too much. Big Mom immediately attacked when the Supernovas were not focused. Kid was pushed back by lightning. Zoro tried to wake Luffy up, but Big Mom did not give them that opportunity. She created a slash with fire. At that moment, Law rushed to approach Big Mom and used his ultimate technique, Counter Shock. Thanks to that, Zoro successfully rescued Luffy. Kid and Killer seized the opportunity to approach and finish off Kaido. But Kaido recovered in a short time. Kaido flew into the air and curled up. He created tornadoes to blow everything away. Dragon Twister. Zoro and Luffy were caught in the tornado. Luffy had no ability to fight. The tornado made Zoro unable to protect his captain. Kaido suddenly appeared and swallowed Luffy into his stomach. At this moment, Zoro had to deploy his strongest skill to save Luffy. He transmitted his haki into the swords. Their killing intent radiated and turned into a dragon. Kaido felt the terrifying power from Zoro, once again making Kaido remember his opponent, Odin. Zoro concentrated energy into the sword and released his power, Black Rope Dragon Twister. The attack pierced through Kaido's steel-hard skin. Luffy was also successfully rescued. Kaido was injured by that slash. He realized that the scary power came from Odin's sword. Kaido was angry and stretched his body to the sky. He concentrated his power and fired a series of energy beams. Demolition Gust. This skill has both destructive power and wide range. The Supernovas had to work hard to defend. Then, Kaido transformed into a new form. Half human, half dragon. This state of Kaido possesses great speed and strength. Not easy to hit like in dragon form. Luffy now needs time to recover his strength. Zoro and his allies have to fight with two emperors. The power of the two sides is too different. Killer started the battle and rushed to Kaido. He used his strongest technique, Scyther Sonic. This technique can pierce through Kaido's skin. But Kaido is in half-dragon form. His durability also increased more than before. Killer was counterattacked by Kaido and flew away. The super rookies had to fight with the real monsters. Kaido fired a series of energy beams. Their scale and damage were smaller, but still enough to overwhelm the opponent. Big Mom also launched an attack with powerful lightning bolts. But everyone was safe, thanks to the coordination of Zoro and Law. Luffy had now recovered his strength and returned to the battle. Kaido struck a blow that made Luffy fly away. But that was not enough to defeat Luffy. He continued to rush to attack Kaido. Elephant Gun. But Kaido's strength was too superior to Luffy. Right after that, Big Mom showed her power. God of Lightning Tenjin. She created a stream of lightning that struck the opponent. The power of the emperors was absolute. Luffy still tried to attack them, but it was ineffective. However, the super rookies did not show fear in front of the monsters. They were great warriors. Luffy was still able to stand up, after receiving many blows from the enemy. Kaido and Big Mom were very excited to fight with strong opponents. They had dominated a sea where there was no rival for a long time. The emperors cooperated to demonstrate their true power to the younger generation, unleashing a devastating attack. Their power shook the entire battlefield. We are witnessing an absolute power, created by the strongest people. Conquest of the Sea. The attack distorted the space around, creating a huge source of energy that went straight to the opponent, a thing that brings death. At that moment, Zoro bravely rushed out and blocked the attack of the two emperors. Luffy and his allies were surprised by Zoro's strength. He was able to stop the huge source of power. After exploding, they released an unimaginable amount of energy. Zoro sustained serious injuries due to the damage he took. Luffy immediately soared into the air. He strengthened his body and prepared to launch an attack on the enemy. He used Conqueror's Haki to enhance his attack by wrapping it around his arm for more damage. Kaido sensed the danger from this punch. He chose to dodge, instead of blocking directly as before. Kaido immediately counterattacked and knocked Luffy away. The two continued to fight fiercely. Kaido with the advantage of strength and experience. He easily overwhelmed Luffy. But Luffy with his personality and extraordinary physique, he was still able to fight one-on-one with Kaido. However, Kaido was still too much for Luffy. He was completely suppressed by Kaido. The task of dealing with the ruler of the sea was incredibly difficult given their immense power. But facing the two emperors, who are the strongest generation of pirates, the Supernovas, they are all great warriors, and never surrender to their enemies. Kaido was really angry. He and Big Mom rushed to attack the enemy. Luffy was very resilient but still crushed by Kaido. Big Mom immediately attacked the remaining allies. She unleashed streams of lightning at the enemy and blew them away. Law stopped Big Mom's attack by creating a shield. But he still couldn't hold on because of the power gap. Luffy rushed towards Big Mom but was stopped by Kaido, who knew his intentions. He threw Luffy to the ground and unleashed his special skill, Flash Breath. All the super rookies were knocked out. Kaido despises the weak. He stood in front of Luffy and prepared to finish him off. Zoro immediately stood up and challenged Kaido. This reminded Kaido of the samurai who had been defeated before. He was angry because the weak only talked but couldn't do anything. Kid and Law could not stop Zoro's recklessness. Kaido immediately swung his club to crush Zoro. But Luffy managed to nullify Kaido's attack. He enhanced his fist with Conqueror's Haki. Kaido was surprised that Luffy could still fight. Even after receiving a lot of damage from the opponent, he was still able to stand firm and counterattack. Luffy landed a precise punch that pushed him back. This boosted the morale of Luffy's teammates. Right after that, Luffy activated Conqueror's Haki to suppress the opponent's spirit. That is the power of the future Pirate King. He rushed into a duel with Kaido again. Kaido immediately entered the fighting state. And the two continued to fight fiercely. However, Luffy could not focus on fighting when Big Mom intervened. Immediately, Luffy's teammates surrounded and attacked Big Mom. To have a chance of winning against the Emperors, they must find a way to break the alliance between Kaido and Big Mom. At the same time, Law and Kid appeared and supported Luffy to attack the enemy. Luffy quickly charged towards Kaido and landed a powerful punch infused with Conqueror's Haki. However, Kaido's endurance was too terrifying. He immediately counterattacked and knocked Luffy to the ground. Kaido summoned thunder and concentrated energy on his weapon. He rushed to Luffy and unleashed a powerful skill. Ragnarok. Luffy could not withstand the overwhelming power of Kaido. Big Mom also prepared to finish off the remaining members. Kid used his power to create a magnetic box. Law quickly moved Zeus into the box to disable him. Big Mom did not expect her weapon to be kidnapped. At the same time, Zoro and Killer attacked Prometheus. When Big Mom was not focused, Zoro did not give Prometheus a chance to recover. He cut it into many pieces. Killer attacked continuously on Big Mom's sword. They succeeded in dispersing Big Mom's power. Kid also coordinated a plan to divide the enemy's forces. Although she did not have her weapons by her side, Big Mom's physical strength was enough to overwhelm Kid. But he locked Big Mom's arm and threw her into the air. Law moved the rock and pushed back the enemy. Big Mom was not hurt by those weak attacks, but it was all part of their plan. Zoro immediately swung his sword and cut off the ground. Big Mom fell off the battlefield. They succeeded in separating the cooperation between Kaido and Big Mom. Can they win when they have the advantage? Stay tuned for the next episode on the Highlight Anime channel.